Good evening. Good evening. It is 6 p.m. on Wednesday. Means it's time for Wednesdays in the Word. My name is Dwayne Hawkins. I am the pastor of the Antioch Baptist Church in Omaha, Nebraska, and will be your facilitator on this evening. Today is a great day to be alive. Today's a great day to be alive. I'm glad to be here and to share this time with you, my brothers and sisters in Christ, Christian friends, and all those who gather with us. I want to invite you to come on in, let me know that you are here. Check in with your color and just give me an update on what's been going on with you lately. Would love to know how things have been going for you. If you're blue, green, yellow, or red, we are glad that you are here and praying God's blessings on our time together. We do have an announcement, a wonderful, exciting announcement to share after we do some initial greetings. It is definitely good to be back. So I've been not well. I've been not well. I have been ill for the past 2 weeks, and I am on the road to recovery. And I'm so grateful to God for being on the road to recovery. I want to thank my wife, First Lady, Sister Sonia, for all of her care during that time period. I'm so grateful for her and just for anyone who prayed, anyone who may have reached out to me or reached out to my wife while I was at home in the bed. I want to thank each and every one of you just for being kind and concerned about me. I'm so grateful. I'm not quite 100% yet, but I am on the road to recovery well enough to kind of be on my feet a little bit. Yesterday was my first day really kind of on my feet in about 2 weeks for the most part. And I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful. It didn't have to be, but I'm glad to be on the road to recovery. I'm grateful for medicine. I'm grateful for medicine. Um, I didn't get the best medical care. I did not get the best medical care, but I am grateful because we eventually got to where we needed to go. I had one emergent care or priority care visit and ended up going to the ER and being treated and having to go back to the ER the next week. And it was just a big old thing, y'all. And finally got the tests that needed to be administered to get to the diagnoses that they needed to get to. And then from there, I was able to receive the proper medication. And um, a week later, after all of that, week later, I am on the road to recovery. And I'm just grateful. Alma, what is happening? Good evening, Pastor Dwayne, First Lady Sonia. Good to see and hear you praise God. Yes, ma'am. Praise the Lord. Green and focused. First Lady says good evening, and she said, throw the whole healthcare system away. They were terrible. um, I did not receive the best health care, y'all. I did not. From from my doctor's office giving me a priority call. 2 days after I called, I could have been in a ditch on the side of the road. And their priority was supposed to be in my mind minutes or an hour at the most. It took 2 days. Um, and that's just one example. And there were other examples. But I am mostly green. Most I still got I'm rolling about 75%, maybe 80%. And I'm so grateful. Y'all, did y'all see what the first lady said? She said throw the whole healthcare system away. She said they were terrible. Love and hugs back to you, Alma. Karen, good evening to you. I am finally on the road to recovery, finally starting to feel better. I was down for 2 weeks. Listen, big shout out to Minister Sewell. He preached 2 Sundays in a row, and I was in no position to be able to be upright, let alone stand up for half an hour, let alone expend any energy. Big shout out to Minister Sewell for carrying on, and the rest of Antioch for just doing what you do on Sunday mornings. You love the Lord, you love your church, and I'm just grateful that everything continued um, in my absence. It's pretty rare that I'm gone 2 Sundays in a row for any reason, let alone being sick. Half the time I show up and preach when I'm sick, but to be sick 2 Sundays in a row and not even well enough to go to church is very rare. Um, and it may have never happened except for maybe when I had COVID. That might have been the only time. First Lady said, and she meant it. She is not playing around with the healthcare system. Yeah, big shout out to Minister Sewell for stepping in um, on short notice and being ready 2 Sundays in a row. So grateful for him and the rest of the leadership and the team at the Antioch Baptist Church. So I'm blue green, but finally I got some green, and I'm not just all blue. And so I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm mostly up and functioning, but I still have not recovered my strength and stamina and energy level, things of that nature. I still have some symptoms, but not nearly what I had prior to. So I'm grateful for that. Let me know how you're doing, what your color is. And Alma says she was green. Let's see. Is First Lady on camera with us? I don't think so. Not yet. Maybe she'll join us. Karen is green today. What's your color today, Sister Sonia? What's your color today, Sister Sonia? I'm blue green, but I got some green. Um, I might be more green than blue for the first time in a couple weeks, so I am grateful for that. Invite somebody. What's going on? That's what's going on with me. I've been sick, and I'm grateful that I'm feeling better. And I just wanted to thank everyone for their concern and care and prayers. I certainly appreciate it. What about y'all? What's been going on with y'all? And First Lady said, that is not my name. Your name ain't Sister Sonia? I've heard people call you Sister Sonia. I'm confused. Sonya, Yvette, Hawkins. That sounds like Sonia to me. So, what's been going on with y'all? Tell me what's been going on with y'all. And then we got an announcement. You know better than I don't know what she talking about, y'all. Sister Sonia. I don't know what she talking about tonight. Um, blue green, blue green. I do understand blue green because that's what I am. All right, so let's get to our announcement. Our announcement for tonight is this coming Sunday is the church anniversary. Wonderful. This Sunday is the church anniversary. Where's Stacia? Somebody find her. Tell her the pastor looking for her. It is church anniversary. We are celebrating 35 years of existence as a church. Since 1991, Antioch has been in existence seeking to do the work of the Lord for 35 years. I am grateful. I've been a part of Antioch maybe the last, I don't know, 20 years of that 35. I think I came in '05. Yeah, maybe 21 of those years. I've been affiliated with Antioch in some capacity, associate minister, interim pastor, and then pastor. And so I've got a little bit of time in the game at the Antioch Baptist Church. I've been around for a couple decades, and Antioch is celebrating 35. What a blessing. This Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. at the Antioch Baptist Church, 2535 South 42nd. Our special guest will be the Prince of Peace Baptist Church, and Pastor Fred Dixon Jr. will be the preacher for that occasion. Again, this Sunday afternoon, 3 p.m. at the Antioch Baptist Church, we will be celebrating 35 years and thanking the Lord for 35 years of consecutive service as a church seeking to do the will of the Lord. What an amazing reason to pause and celebrate and thank the Lord. We will also be engaging in, I believe, a meal after service. So we're going to worship together, and then we'll have opportunity to fellowship together over a meal and break bread with one another. And that will be immediately following worship service in the lower unit of the church. And so we invite you to not only worship with us, but we also invite you to break bread with us after worship, where we can spend time with one another and draw closer to one another after worship. So that's coming this coming Sunday, July the 26th at 3 p.m. at the church. And allow me the opportunity just to thank the team and Sister Davis, as well as Sister Morris, for their teamwork and outstanding leadership everything associated with our celebration. But we need you. We need you to be there. We've got guests coming, but we need you to be there this coming Sunday afternoon. So we are looking forward to that. All right, that is our announcement. Looks like the First Lady is in the studio. Give her opportunity to say good evening to each and every one of you.
Good evening. Good evening to each and every one of you.
Thank you for being here today. We are grateful, always grateful when the faithful First Lady greets us in the name of Jesus Christ. All right, that was our announcement. Are you ready?
Believe it, be it, belong and become it. It's in the word, it's in the word. Everything that you need in the word. It's in the word, it's in the word. Everything that you need in the word. Wednesdays in the
Praise the Lord. Everything that you need is in the word. Did y'all hear me singing in the background? Did y'all hear me singing a little bit? Listen,
Yes.
I have been singing in the car. I drive to Lincoln to work where I serve as a chaplain associate, and that's a lot of time, couple days a week in the vehicle. And when I am not listening to podcasts, which is what I do most of the time, every now and then I'll play some music. And when I'm in the car, I'll be singing, y'all. I'll be trying to sing like the artist. I'll be trying to hit their notes like they be hitting the notes. And if nobody's in the car with me, sometimes I'll be on it. Sometimes in my mind, I'm thinking, you know what? You can't even tell the difference between me and the person on the album. In my mind, sometimes that's what I think, that you cannot even tell the difference between me singing in the car by myself and the artist singing on the radio. Am I the only one who feels that way? Am I the only one? And if they do a little ooh, I'll do it too. And every now and then in my mind, I feel like you cannot tell the difference. So one Sunday, I just might surprise y'all and say, Chris and them, put me in G flat. Put me in G flat. Come with me and let's sing this hymn together. And I'll just open up my mouth without like they do at Cathedral of Praise. Just start singing even before the music come in. The music have to catch up with me. Good evening, Aunt Johnny. Glad that you are with us on Alma. You know you be singing in the car by yourself. Tell the truth. Shame the devil. Karen said can't wait. Well, um, I think most of the people can wait. They probably prefer I didn't. Anyways, July, we are in the book of Ruth. And I want to remind you that you can find all of the materials for the book of Ruth in our app, our God Stories self-paced app. You can go to the website. We're at antiochomaha.org. You'll find it on the homepage. It'll say, I don't know, Bible study, self-paced app or something like that. You can click on that, put in your name and your email address, and that'll send your invite in to me. And I will accept your invitation. And then all you need to do is set up your login information and you'll be in. It just takes a couple of minutes. And so you can go to Ruth and you'll find the overview document, which is on the screen right now. And you'll find the 3 studies, the redemptive study, the maturity study, and then the doctrinal study. And our goal on Wednesday nights when we gather is to spend some time. The last time we talked about the redemptive arc of the book of Ruth, what it adds to God's story of redemption. Today, we're going to look at what the book of Ruth adds to our understanding of Christian maturity. And then the following week, we'll wrap up with what the book of Ruth adds to our understanding of some of the major doctrines of the Bible. And again, you can find all of those in the app. You can download them onto your own devices, excuse me, or you can just read them in the app without downloading. And there's just a simple reflective question for you to think about and respond to in the app. And that goes directly to me. And then I'll respond to you on a personal level. And whether you join us for the Bible study or you do it on your own self-paced, it's the same information and you can go to the same place to get it on the app. Again, we are AntiochOmaha.org is the website. On the homepage, you'll see a button for the app. You can just click on it and add in your name and email address and submit it to me. I'll get an invitation. I'll respond to you. And then all you need to do is set up your login information. All right, just a overview of the book of Ruth as a whole. This is in the section of history. Remember, there are 5 books of law and there's 12 books of history: Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st and 2nd Kings, 1st and 2nd Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah, and Esther. So there's 12 books in the section of history. And out of all the 66 books, this is number 8. So we're kind of making our way through. And the author is unknown. It's one of the few books of the Bible where the author is unknown. The audience, once again, is Israel. And this book is an amazing book. Teaches us about God's providence, how he interacts in human history, and teaches us a lot about loyalty and devotion and commitment. And it's just a wonderful story. The book of Ruth is just a wonderful story. It's a short book. You could read it in one sitting. There's only 4 chapters to the book of Ruth. I won't go over everything there because you can get it there in the app. And last time we were together, we looked at what this book adds to our understanding of God's overall plan of redemption. And so we looked in chapter 4, verses 13 through 15. And if you recall, week before last, when Naomi left her homeland she had so much. She had a husband, she had two sons, and went down and they got married. And so there was a family there. And while she was away from her homeland, her husband dies and both her children, they both die. And so she comes back and she has nothing uh, relative to the richness of family that she had when she left her homeland. And we understand through our study last time that God has this amazing way of filling the voids and redeeming what we've lost. And through, in this case, it wasn't through anything miraculous. He used a human, a kinsman redeemer by the name of Boaz. And it was through Boaz that there was a sense of reclaiming of that which was lost. And it really set the tone for us to understand God's redemptive plan, because he is he is a redeemer. So we had an amazing lesson, but now I want to turn to our lesson for tonight, which has to do with maturity. So, what does the book of Ruth add to our understanding of Christian maturity? And so, just by introduction, I'm going to just read to you what I have in the introduction. There's a kind of love that only shows up when it costs something. Anyone can stay when staying is easy, but to bind yourself to someone or to God when it means giving up your security, your homeland, your safe exit, making a reasonable and rational decision that's being offered, that is a totally different thing. And so, in our story today, we are introduced to Ruth, the one whom the book is named after, because that is exactly what she does. And in doing so, we get a glimpse into what spiritual maturity looks like. And so I'm going to just read you the text from my Bible, from my YouVersion Bible app. And I'm going to go to the book of Ruth, chapter 1. And I'm actually going to back up a little bit to verse 12, because it's here where Naomi's husband is dead, her sons have died, and she's going back home, and she tells her daughters-in-law that they need to stay in their homeland and not go with Naomi back to Naomi's land. So here's what it says. Turn back, my daughters. Go your way, for I am too old to have a husband. If I should say I have hope, even if I should have a husband this night and should bear sons, would you therefore wait until they are grown? Would you therefore refrain from marrying? No, my daughters, for it is exceedingly bitter to me for your sake that the hand of the Lord has gone out against me. And they lifted up their voices and wept again. And Orpah, that was the other one that married one of the kids. Orpah kissed her mother-in-law, but Ruth clung to her. And she said, "See, your sister-in-law has gone back to her people and to her gods. Return after your sister-in-law." But Ruth said, "Do not urge me to leave you or to return from following you. But where you go, I will go. And where you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God, my God. Where you die, I will die, and there will I be buried. May the Lord do to me and more also, if anything but death parts me from you." And when Naomi saw that she was determined to go with her, she said no more. That is our text for this evening, and it introduces us to a portrait of maturity. And just having said so, just before we dive into the dimensions of maturity, just let me know what stands out in this passage about Ruth's decision as it relates to the topic of Christian maturity. You can type it in the comments. If you're on camera, you can unmute. What are your initial thoughts about what Ruth said to her mother-in-law? Any thoughts? Any thoughts? Just type them in the comments, and I'll read them when they pop up. So when we talk about maturity at Antioch, there are 4 dimensions that we refer to. And one is the head, one is the heart, one is corporate behavior or your corporate hands, and then the fourth one is individual hands. And it refers to what should you know and understand, what mature believers should know and understand, what virtues should they display, that's the heart piece. And then corporate hands, what corporate behaviors do we engage in corporately as a body? What do mature believers do corporately? And then individually, what behaviors do mature believers engage in on an individual basis? And in this passage, there are a couple of those dimensions that I really wanted to speak to. And the first one is the heart. The heart of Ruth that is on display. And the reason why that's so significant in my mind is because her devotion to Naomi, her love for Naomi was great. And it was her love for Naomi that led her to be devoted to her no matter what. I don't know what it was about Naomi that had that type of impact upon Ruth, such that Ruth would be willing to make the type of sacrifice that she makes in leaving everything and going back with her mother-in-law to a land that she had never been to people she had never met, and to Naomi's God. I just don't know. Naomi must have been quite a person, set quite an example. But it was Ruth's decision to devote herself to her mother-in-law by the name of Naomi. And that is just a picture of what a mature believer's virtue of love looks like in real life. I'm reminded of the great commandment, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy mind, with all thy soul, with all thy strength. And when I think about the decision that Ruth made, it wasn't a decision of convenience, because Naomi said, it would be better for you to stay, remarry, stay with your people. And she was willing to sacrifice convenience and familiarity to stay with Naomi and to pledge her loyalty. Where you go, I'll go. Don't urge me to leave you. Your people will become my people. Your God will be my God. Where you die, I'll die. I'm just amazed at her level of devotion, her commitment, motivated by her love. We don't see the word love, but we see the display of love. We see its demonstration through sacrifice. And it begs us to consider our level of love for the Lord. Are we willing to give up security and convenience and familiarity in order to demonstrate our love to the Lord through our level of commitment? And so that's part of the picture of maturity that we see in this passage in terms of what the book of Ruth adds to our understanding of spiritual maturity. I think the other one has to do with her corporate hands, because her commitment wasn't just to Naomi. She said, your people will become my people. Where you go, I will go. Your people will become my people. And that is a level of commitment that is demonstrated to the community of faith. So much so that even before meeting them, she had already decided that those were her people. I mean, I tell you, nowadays, sometimes it seems like people will wait long amounts of time before they make a commitment to a faith community. I mean, sometimes people will go months and maybe even, I don't know. I know people who've been out of church for a year, and Naomi, without even having been to church, without having met the people of God, she pledged her commitment to the community of faith. Your people will become my people. And that is a portrait of maturity, to have that level of commitment. One of the things that I've spoken about over time at the Antioch Baptist Church has to do with understanding this whole notion of covenant relationship and what it means to have a covenant relationship. It means that you give up the right to just kind of say, "Well, I'm a private person," when you're in a covenant relationship. Um, there is no I engage when it's convenient, and when it's not convenient, I kind of withdraw, or I can care for you, but you can't care for me, or nobody will know when you need the care of the church, or few people will know, um, because you have chosen to not share for whatever reason. You're a private person, or you just don't want anybody to know, or all of those types of things. Over the course of time, over the course of years, I have really tried to do a better job of emphasizing what it means to have a covenant relationship. So much so that you could say, these are my people. Not just where I go to church, but these are my people. Whatever the Naomi's people did, she was down for it. Whatever they were doing, if they were worshiping, if they were um, engaged in some form of Christian education, if they were telling the stories of their forefathers, whatever the people were doing, there's no doubt in my mind that Ruth was in the number, because she said, Your people are now my people." And so we get a picture of what a devoted heart looks like, what a mature devoted heart looks like. We get a picture of corporate engagement from the standpoint of maturity, but also, just practically speaking, from an individual hand's decision. Like, she engaged in the day-to-day life of being back with Naomi in her land. You'll read the story, how she gets back and she's gleaning in the fields, picking whatever she's picking, corn or whatever's growing, and that decision was backed by discipline. And she didn't just talk the talk, she walked the walk, and she took care of Naomi to the best of her ability. She engaged in individual behavior that demonstrated the fact that uh, wherever Naomi went, that's where she was going to be. And whoever her people were, that's going to be, whoever her God was, that was going to be her God. So she engaged in individual worship. She engaged in corporate worship. She engaged in the daily disciplines. And she did all of those things. And she is very much a portrait of Christian maturity. And so, from that perspective, There's just a couple of reflective questions. What's the difference between love that's convenient and love that costs you something? When or where have you seen that kind of love that was so loyal that that kind of love was willing to sacrifice? Anybody ever experienced that? What about you, First Lady? You ever experienced that kind of love that's willing to sacrifice?
Um, Gosh, that's hard. Outside of Jesus, the numbers are limited.
When was the last time somebody sacrificed something that was meaningful in order to demonstrate their commitment to you?
Does it count when my husband gets up at 11 o'clock at night to go get me something to eat because I didn't plan ahead? Does that count?
Yes, that counts. Good answer. Good answer. Good answer. So, second question, thank you for sharing. Where is God inviting you to a costly, wholehearted commitment when there's an easier exit available? Naomi gave Ruth her opportunity. Stay, do not come with me. It'll be better for you to stay here, remarry, stay with your people. And she did not do the convenient thing, the reasonable, the rational thing. Her love was costly. And where in your life is God calling on you to that type of commitment and not just taking the easier option? What a challenging question and opportunity for us to grow in our maturity by following the example of Ruth. I think in my life, the first thing that came to my mind when I read that question was pastoring. Um, because there are easier ways to be of service to the Lord and his people than pastoring. I'm going to say that again in case this mic ain't working. There are easier ways to serve the Lord and his people than pastoring. And there are times when those other options look pretty good. But to stay devoted to what the Lord has called me to. Now, if he calls me to something else, that's one thing. But if he doesn't, then it is about my commitment to God, even when it's hard and there are other easier options available. I remember, I'm gonna tell y'all a funny story. It's a true story, but don't tell nobody. But it's a true story, and it's a funny story. I was talking to Pastor Backus one day when he was still at Salem. He and I were pretty good friends, and we would talk from time to time. I said, "Man, I'm pastoring because God called me to pastor, not because that's the only thing I can do in the kingdom." And we shared a chuckle. I said, "Man, I can come work for you." And he was like, he was like, I can't tell you what he really said because I can't remember the exact words that he said, but it was something like, "Don't play with me." And the truth of the matter is, loving the Lord involves sacrifice. And when I thought about that question, where is God inviting me to make a costly, wholehearted commitment when an easier option is available? The first thing in my mind was, He's calling me to make that choice again as a pastor. Because I know there are other things that I could do to serve God and His people that are easier. And I feel like God is calling me to re up my sacrifice for Him. Ain't nobody offered me nothing, but truth of the matter is, there are any number of things that I could do to serve God and His people. And I feel like between me and Him, He's inviting me again to make that sacrifice. That's my story. That's my reflection. And what about you? Where is God inviting you to a costly, wholehearted commitment when an easier option is available? Or if it just appears as if it's an easier option? Is it your marriage? Is it your commitment in the local church? Is it a job situation? Is it a relationship? Where's God inviting you? Is it a business opportunity? Is it to write a book, start a ministry, write a song? Where's God inviting you to wholehearted commitment that specifically is for His sake, when an easier option is available? And what would that look like if you did like Ruth and say, "I'm all in"? That's the reflection upon our lesson tonight. To understand that maturity involves sacrifice, and that sacrifice flows out of our devotion and love to the Lord, which shows up in our sacrifice, our devotion, our commitment. What a great lesson from Ruth tonight as she shows us what maturity looks like in real life. Any final thoughts about what the book of Ruth adds to our understanding of Christian maturity?
I'll just say that Ruth had a lot of trust because, like you said, to only know the mother in law and not know anything probably about her people or her gods, and to say those are going to be my people and your gods will be my gods, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a major commitment. And so yeah, that gives us a lot to think about.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. One of the things I appreciate about Ruth is, it's easy to say, look at the example of Jesus, and we should. But when we see everyday people demonstrating Christian maturity in the everyday decisions of their lives, like we see in the book of Ruth, um, it brings it to our doorstep. And if Ruth can, so can I.
Yeah, that was faith in action for sure.
Yeah. If she can demonstrate that level of maturity as a foreigner, surely I can demonstrate that level of maturity as a person already in the family. So next week is our final look in the book of Ruth, and we'll see what the book of Ruth has to add to our understanding of some of the major doctrines. We've looked at the redemptive story, we looked at maturity, and next week we'll look at it through the lens of doctrine. So it's only 4 chapters. If you haven't already done so, read through the book of Ruth once, twice, 3 times before next week, and we'll have our final lesson on the book of Ruth. Go to the app, the overview document, the 2 documents we've looked at, and next week's lesson is already in the app, already ready for you. Make sure you go there and get it. All right, good people, may the peace of God be unto you.
And also unto you.
Let's go
Go change
change the
the
world.
world.